You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Race outrage. If you need further evidence that Jack Royston of Newsweek has been mobilised to run to the defence of Harry's wife via the column that he writes in Newsweek, then here it is. Ghost-written column on Harry's wife and race sparks outrage. Yes, Harry's wife under pressure once again as a consequence of her attention-seeking activity at the Beyoncé concert and her failure to attend the Los Angeles Football Club versus Inter Miami game results in a tsunami of adverse commentary about her. Rather than recognizing, which anybody else would do were they not a narcissist, that she should stay out of the way, she has to, of course, ensure that people run to her defence, pointing out that people are unnecessarily nasty to her. And Royston reliably does so. A column on Harry's wife arguing that her conflict with the royals was not about racism was ghost-written on behalf of a black commentator in a move labelled appalling by a social media analyst. Dominique Samuels, never heard of this individual, a UK commentator, well, anybody expresses an opinion in the United Kingdom is a UK commentator, so I'm one too, it would appear, and media personality, i.e. attention-seeking twat on social media, was bylined on a column in the Daily Mail with the headline, "The Clash of the Royals was about culture, not colour." Well, that strikes me as entirely accurate. That was published 2 days after Harry's wife and Prince Harry's Oprah Winfrey interview. So we're going back a couple of years, 2.5 years now, bringing up the past. During the CBS tell-all, Harry's wife said an unnamed royal family member had expressed concerns about how dark her unborn child's skin might be before his birth. As we all know, this is a revision of history, and all that happened will have been someone would have expressed curiosity as to what Archie would look like. But Harry's wife, needing to dole out a pity play at the Oprah Winfrey interview, turned it into a matter of race. Anybody with functioning brain cells understands that. The Mail column argued, you cannot offer warm words for the Queen, yet in the same breath claim the institution she heads is racist. Indeed, but Harry's wife can because she's a hypocrite and a contrarian. Now Samuels has confirmed on X, formerly Twitter, that the article was ghost-written for her after stating she had more recently refused to lend her name to another ghost-written article about London's Notting Hill Carnival, which she felt was verging on racist. Asked whether the Harry's Wife article was also ghost-written, she replied, "Yeah, it was," before adding, "It's pretty much standard for newspapers to have ghostwriters for guest columnists, and I thought because I'd never written for them before, it would be fine. Well, aren't you naive and stupid? Here, how about this? Why not write the fucking thing yourself and not be lazy? That way, you don't have to be concerned about what a ghostwriter might do. Clearly, you had a contract which said that ghostwriters would stand in for you. And you signed that contract and agreed to it. Furthermore, you would then know that there was a risk that the ghostwriter might write something that might not accord with your views, but that's the risk you take for accepting money from a news organisation when you don't do the work yourself. And then to complain later just smacks of showing what an idiot you are and what a crybaby you are, and how you similarly are leveraging off the issue of colour as trying to contribute to a puff piece to support Harry's wife. So this columnist clearly isn't very bright, or is perhaps just greedy and was content to take the money without due regard for what might be written in their name, but then chooses at a later juncture to express buyer's remorse and complains about it. But there's more, Because, unsurprisingly, who is this upon the horizon? Ah, yes, it is the man that tells repeated porky pies. It's Christopher Boozy of data analysis firm Bot Sentinel, which has investigated anti-Harry's wife's online communities, told Newsweek that such actions undermine the integrity of journalism and mislead the public. Well, are you talking about some of the things that you've done, Mr. Boozy, or somebody else? It's difficult to know. Boozy, who was interviewed in the couple's Harry and Harry's wife's Netflix show, said, "The recent disclosure that an article written in 2021 about Harry's wife and race was ghostwritten on behalf of a black woman is appalling." Really? Think again, Boozy. That person agreed to it. The Mail can't just take somebody's picture, write an article and say it's written by them. They consent to it. They've signed a contract. Come on, man. Show a brain. Samuel's disclosure about the Harry's wife article was particularly charged because the Sussexes have sued the Mail and its sister title, The Mail on Sunday, 4 times in total. Samuels knew this. Why didn't you back out? Harry's wife at one time described the outlet as the Daily Fail. That's imaginative. And her lawyers argued a story suggesting she was almost straight out of Compton, was intended to be divisive, noting it described where this black side of her family is said to have come from. Well, if that's where they're said to have come from, what's racist about it? Samuel's article read, "There is no doubt that Harry's wife received some racial abuse from the nastier corners of social media." Indeed, we all recognise that there are certain knuckle-draggers who have behaved that way. It went on to state, "I was horrified by it myself and felt nothing but sympathy for her. Yet everything I have seen suggests that the problem behind the collapsing relations between her and the monarchy lay not with her skin colour, but more who she is, an ambitious, proudly independent Californian with very different values from the conservative and often stuffy institution that she found herself in." Well, in actual fact, it's more to do with that she's a narcissist, but Samuels probably doesn't realise this. However much the deeply protective Harry had sought to prepare her, what a shock it must have been for this actress and yoga-loving blogger, steeped in the wellness culture of Los Angeles and loud about her unbendingly woke views, to find herself in an environment governed not by the cult of the individual, but by tradition, service and duty. Furthermore, Samuels, why has it taken you 2.5 years to pipe up about this? That's because Newsweek need to deflect from the criticism that she's been experiencing recently, and therefore engages in what on her behalf? Playing the victim, playing the race card. Yes, another completely transparent, manipulative act on the part of Harry's wife by engaging a pro-Sussex publication to claim, look, here's something that was written about Harry's wife, and shock horror, I didn't actually write it, the Mail did, and they dismissed the fact that she was experiencing racist behaviour. In fact, it was to do with culture and not colour. This is awful. Let's bring it up 2.5 years later and take to the streets, build the barricades, let's have a revolution. It's pathetic. It's pathetic on multiple levels. It's pathetic because it's 2.5 years old. It's pathetic because Samuels knew precisely what they were signing up for. It's pathetic because it's a blatant attempt to deflect from the criticism that she's experiencing. It's pathetic because it rolls out that usual suspect, Boozy. And it's pathetic because, once again, Royston is just showing his pro-Sussex colours with an article that's easily taken apart, is intellectually weak, high on emotion, low on intellectual substance, as if there's so much that is about Harry's wife. But yet again, notice, we're not going to talk victimhood any longer. Contradicted. And once again, playing the race card. Predictable. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.